Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. In an effort to provide a comprehensive analysis of the Gypsy Rose case, I have chosen to delve into the potentially harmful influence of her social media influencer status on our youth. Got a little bird joining in with me today, because it's during the day and he's up and alive. Allow me to introduce Exhibit A, Carly Gregg. Carly is a 14-year-old, she's now 15, but it happened when she was 14, who tragically took the life of her mother and attempted to do the same to her stepfather, who ultimately survived her deadly intentions. The mother did not. Today marks the beginning of her trial as the state of Mississippi faces off against Carly Gregg. Join us for a riveting special edition of Live Court Trials on the Power Network as we delve into the dark and disturbing details of this case. They're getting ready for opening statements. I'm going to roll some credits while we wait for everyone to roll in. Special shout out to my replay crew. I love you, babies. Women Radio, I'm Amy.
Carefully strumming this old guitar, words rolling out into the fire. Never ask why my heart burned blue. Here in the haze where you inspire me. Here in the darkness I hear my cue. Time to find some solitude. Here where my soul bleeds openly, deep in the heart of sin and you. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you. Here in the blue, I'm dancing with you tonight, and it feels fine. Carefully strumming this old guitar again, words rolling out into our fire. If heaven had wings, I would steal them and fly away with you for a while. Here in the essence of gratitude, your dreamy little smile on my lips. I miss my cue, but baby, I had you. Miss my cue, but I had you for that day.
When you have good friends like I do over here on the Parawomenradio Network, I never have to worry about missing my cue. And I am learning that with you guys, and I'm so grateful. Okay, so the Deadly Daughter trial, that's what Court TV is calling this case. They have been doing jury selection all day today, and over on Court TV it's starting, their chat is starting to pick up, and I also have a little bird that's he is in. He has not been able to be a part of a live in a while, and yeah, so he's here. If you ever catch a live before 8 p.m., that means he's up. I can't do anything about it. we're a bird channel here. So they have been in all day choosing. Also, my little dog, Maybelline, she's not doing too well. She's older. So if you're in the habit of like sending love, energy, prayers, anything like that, she's having some neurological issues. And so I could use some for her. I know like logically, I know she's in her end years, but I just hope this isn't her end days. I just really hope it's just, a little neurological bump. Because yeah, she's my heart dog, and she is, when it was really bad for me, the reason why I got up. So just not ready for that yet. So if you are in the business of sending that kind of stuff, we could use it. Okay, so getting back, they have been choosing a jury all day today. I'm gonna actually get it up on the screen so that if they go live, all of a sudden it will be there. So let me share my screen while I'm doing this. Oh, he's extra spicy. Wasn't even talking before I went live. Yeah, you're extra spicy today, baby. Yeah. And then what happened? Hold on a second. I'm on the wrong there. Okay. All right. So they are calling it the Deadly Daughter trial. So we're just going to go with that because I feel like it goes really well with the whole Gypsy Rose series that I'm going to do on Deadly Daughters. And this is going to be our first Deadly Daughter. And her name is Carly Gregg. I guess while we're waiting, I did release a video today of a live that we did on her. So I will link that, but we're not going to play that. We're just going to play a little. Oh, Junies. Really? Do you want to come over here and say hi? No, you come here. No, I'm not going outside. Okay. You're gonna go in the other room, my friend. I've got a few things that we can look at while we're waiting. Uh-huh. So can I talk? Let me make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. How is everyone doing today? What have you been up to? Has it been a good Monday? Besides what's going on with Maybelline, it's been a fine Monday for us. It actually, the neurological stuff started happening after our live last night. So it's been a really good day. She's doing pretty good. So hi, Tony. I see Tony, and I see Main Chick Carrie and Laura Lynn. Thank you so much, Laura Lynn, for the super sticker. Thank you for your support. It always means a lot to me. Main Chick Carrie, Corinne, is that Callie's? And Licia. I'm just gonna say Licia. And yeah, and did I miss anybody? I don't think I did. But if I did, I'm always sorry. Okay. And I also did a new Halloween background. Do you like it? It's just like jack-o'-lantern faces coming at you. All right. So let me just make sure I've got it up and going in the background in case they go live and I don't want to miss it. Okay. All right, so Mississippi versus Carly Gregg, deadly daughter trial. Uh, Brandon, Mississippi, a young girl could spend the rest of her life in prison if she's convicted of murdering her mother, shooting her, pew-pewing her stepfather, and inviting a friend to see the carnage. Carly Gregg, now 15, was 14 when she was charged with unaliving and attempted unaliving and tampering with evidence for sh- using a pew pew on her mother, Ashley. Okay, they're going in. Let me get us over there. Wait, is this it? No, this isn't it. No, that's not it. Sorry. I had another her pretrial conference up that we could watch in case, because I'm starting to think. Let me just look really quick in court. I'm going to take us over to court TV and I just want to peek in their comments and see what they're saying. Um, I don't know. Cameras will not be available until opening statements begin. Guess you are stuck just chatting with us for now. So there won't be any cameras until they start the opening statements. And Court TV did say they were setting up cameras and they are getting ready to do the opening statements. That's why I rushed and went live. But that's the thing about court. Like, you're either rushing or you're waiting. You just, or you're lucky and you get in the easy lane and you get in there right on time. But yeah. Okay. So going back to this, she's now 15, was 14 when she was charged. Prosecutors say that on March 19th, 2024, Greg, I hate the pew pew is just annoying to me. Pew pewed her mother in the neck, unaliving her. At a preliminary hearing, a detective testified that video inside the home showed Greg playing with her dogs after the unalivings. Then Greg allegedly texted her friend, identified as BW in court documents, saying she had an emergency and needed her to come over. BW told police that when she got there, Greg asked if she'd ever seen an unalived body before. When she said no, Greg proceeded to show her Ashley, which is her mother. Greg allegedly told BW to wait outside because her stepfather was about to come home. When Heath arrived, BW heard three shots before Greg ran out of the house. Heath told officers he was able to wrestle the gun away from his stepdaughter. Greg was taken into custody, apparently half a mile away. Greg turned down a plea agreement offered by prosecutors that would have sent her to prison for 40 years. She faces a potential sentence of life in prison, although she can't get life in prison because she's under the age of 18, um, for unaliving, and 30 years to life for the other charges. So, I mean, no, you can't give a juvenile life. But Greg's defense is expected to argue insanity at her trial. And they have, unless some odd way in Mississippi, you can, I mean, I don't know anymore. They're making rules that we're able to charge a 14-year-old with life. Hmm. And they have retained an expert to testify on her behalf. At her preliminary hearing, her attorney described her as an exceptional student who had skipped the fourth grade and had no prior history of violence. So they did the jury selection this morning. Oops, hold on. It says my browser connection. I got to redo my browser connection. Hold on one second. I see some questions in chat, and I'll go in and I'll answer them. Okay. All right. Oh wow, there needs to be more caution and locking weapons up securely when you have children. I know, like it says in the court documents that she was having a fight with her mom and she left the room and came back with it and like it's on camera, but where did she go and get like how did she get it so easily? Where was it that she could just leave the room and then come back with it? But I in the first live that I did, my stepfather was an ex-police officer, and then when he retired, he was a lot older than my mom, and he was retired, and then he was a bodyguard, and we had guns in our house unlocked, probably loaded. I don't know. I never went near them because they always scared me. But yeah. Why aren't these things locked up? Exactly. The weapon was in her mom's room, I think. Okay. I'm curious where yeah, okay. Yeah, it was in another room, not really sure what room. Um Sorry, I'm at work, so I'm running off to answer bells. It's okay, but I'm listening. Yeah, thank you for your prayers. I really, really do appreciate it. Oh, you like I like it too. And I figured out we can now make our things round and square and oval. So we're going round today. We're feeling like a circle. Okay, so you're not familiar. This is a pretty new case. I just started covering it last week. There are a few new cases that popped up also of teens attempting to unalive their parents that we're going to be covering. Katie from Down the Rabbit Hole at Bedtime wants to talk about this subject, this topic of like, what is Gypsy Rose influencing our youth? And, are they being influenced? And, so we're going to be talking about these cases more and more. Because I got to be able to talk about things other than just Gypsy Rose and the Watts, I need more in my life. And so but I still like to talk about the Gypsy Rose case and I still like to talk about the Watts case, but I've got to feel like I'm making a difference and this is just my own personal thing. Like sometimes I want to go over to another channel and just get the tea and not, think any deeper than that. But for me, it's just over here. I always take it deeper. It's just who I am and I'm learning to accept it. Hey, Mally, you're welcome. I don't know what I did, but you're welcome. Okay, still watching. Okay, nothing new. So let's I have some other things. Let's just see what is being said about her around the internet while we're waiting. So over on 16, jury selection was beginning. Let's see what this is.
The now 15-year-old accused of killing her mother, Ashley Smiley, and shooting her stepfather, who survived.
I'm very curious what she's going to be dressed in because they had been parading her into court as in a schoolgirl uniform, which I mean that was her uniform for school. So, but I'm very curious how they're going to dress her because in some of her photos, her school photos, she doesn't look as young as she does in court. So they are making her look very young on purpose. And I'm just Okay, my friend. He found the mirror. Okay. Yeah, you found the mirror, didn't you? It's going to make you hormonal. She looks so innocent, I know, but then in some of them, she looks so in the thumbnail, she just looks so, like, evil too at the same time. She looks like an innocent, evil child, like the perfect horror child. It's crazy. Um, and it was said that she's saying the reason, that she did it was because the mother took her shine away. She was really people liked her at school, and then her mother became a teacher at her school, and she didn't like it. This is just all things that I've heard around the internet. This is all for entertainment and educational purposes only. My opinion, my research, but I do put the links for everything that we view during our lives in the description, for fair play use and also to cite the sources. So, okay, in the chat, it says she had marijuana in her system when she was arrested, but the defense wanted that excluded. Interesting. So she had some type of drug in her system. Of course, the defense would want that excluded, right? All right. Let me get back to where I was. Let me make sure you can see it on screen. You can.
The shootings happening at a home in Brandon in March. Smiley was a teacher at Northwest Rankin High School. Months later, the teenager has made several court appearances, including one where she rejected a plea deal in August. Gregg will face a Rankin County judge once again, and for the first time in front of a jury, as her attorneys and state prosecutors make their cases. Tuesday, Circuit Court Judge Dewey Arthur issued a gag order that prevents attorneys from talking about the case to media. During a motion hearing that same day, attorneys for Gregg and prosecutors revealed a diary in discovery that allegedly belongs to Gregg's mother that could be used as evidence by the defense. During one of Gregg's court appearances in August, it was revealed that the then 14-year-old was receiving psychological help. The defense is expected to argue that her doctor had changed her medications a week prior to the shootings. Gregg has been held in solitary confinement in the Rankin County Jail since shortly after she was arrested. She's being tried as an adult and, if convicted, faces up to 20 years to life. In Rankin County, Michaela Franklin, 16, WAPT News.
Prosecutors offered Carly Gregg a plea deal that would have sentenced her to 40 years in prison, but she turned it down.
Oops, I tried to see, this is the issue I always have. I try to mute it so you don't get screamed at by the bird, but then I forget I muted it. If I were offered a 40-year plea deal and I was 15 years old, I don't think I would take it either, because I don't think they can sentence they can. Well, I don't think they can legally sentence a 15-year-old to life, but they could probably give her 50, 60, like a long time. I don't know. Would you roll the dice on that? I don't know. Boy. Just in my mind, you know what my mind said? Well, you wouldn't do this, Amy. So it's so hard to decide what you would do. But I think I hear some sound. Let me see if they're going live. Once they start, I'm going to mute my mic and come down into chat with y'all. Oh, you like the bird? Some people it annoys and some people love it. Uh, but I've just decided like during the day, that's just what it is. I created night lives so that, people wouldn't be annoyed by it, but like during the day, I just have to have that balance because it's like when people come over to visit, I have animals, I'm not going to lock them away. Well, I mean, if somebody's deathly afraid of a dog or something, I will keep them away, but do you know what I mean? So, thank you for saying that. Uh, Also, I wanted to say, I think I need one more moderator over on YouTube. So if anyone is interested in modding for me, I actually need one more moderator over on YouTube. I need one for Facebook and I need one for Instagram. And if you do Instagram or Facebook, you can still do YouTube. Like you can do more than one if you want. I'm not like if I say if you're going to be a Facebook moderator, you're not going to be locked over on Facebook, never to be allowed over on YouTube. Just means I need somebody to keep an eye on. But so if you're interested, feel free to email me at parawomenradio@gmail.com. Or you can also message me over on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Well, Facebook and TikTok are the two easiest ways to reach me. Or you can message one of my other two moderators. They have my direct phone to text me or whatever. So yeah, I just need somebody. I think I don't want to put like I don't want a ton of mods because I want to be in a space where I pay my mods, give my mods, compensation for what they do. So I don't want to get a ton of mods because that's what I'm building towards. I want Parawomen Radio to be sustainable to others. But I think I need a few more because I don't want to put all the pressure on Chrissy and Heavenly because they got lives too. So yeah, and with the Shannon starting Para World News, the new YouTube page, we're gonna just need more mods. And so yeah, if you're interested, please email me at parawomenradio at gmail.com. And the women is plural, but I did secure the singular. So I have both emails now. So if you make a mistake and don't put it in plural, I'm going to get it regardless. I'm going to get it. Okay. I'm going to, well, let's see what they're saying in this chat to see what's going on. And if it doesn't start soon, then I will find something regarding this case to watch. Or we could actually also kind of see what Gypsy Rose is up to. I haven't been doing a whole lot of Gypsy Rose lately. I backed off from her for sometimes I just have to back off from her when it gets too intense, when it gets too gaslighty in the case. I just have to step away from it because I burn myself up with anger, with the injustice, and I have to be really careful about it. But we could look at a little bit. I know, like, I think Ken's mom was over on Sir Morbid's. I think that was the only new person that came up. But she's doing her stuff. She's doing her irritating stuff like she always does. Oh yeah, I think so too. For sure. It's like it's yeah, it's so much easier to bully people now that there's social media. You essentially are welcoming the world into your home with the internet. I don't know. I I I I did a lot of children's things. Like I was a babysitter before college. I worked at a daycare before I went away to college. When I was a social worker, I ran the children's playroom at a domestic shelter. I was the women and children service director. So I did a lot of that kind of stuff. And and I came into being a social worker in the 90s because that's when I graduated from college. And that's like basically when the internet was invented. And when I would like come home from college, I was like a mother's helper. I would grocery shop for a family and cook for them. And I worried for the kids. I was so scared. I couldn't even imagine being a parent. And yeah, and especially back then, because parents back then really didn't know, what was going on. Oh, gosh. But I'm getting off my worry. I am a worrier. I was born a worrier. I think it's the nurturing side of me, but I'm really working on not worrying because the worrying is I don't know how to release it out of my body, and so I'm making myself sick, and I don't want that anymore. I'm working on a lot of my stuff. Are you guys working a lot of your crap? It just seems like now is the time to do it. Like either do it or when it all happened to me, I just said to myself, because I did try the alternate route, and that's hard to do, my friends. It's hard to do, and I don't recommend it at all. And I said to myself, well, I can't seem to do that. So what I have to do now is just build a beautiful life. And that was 2 years ago. So I thought by now things would be different, but I'm learning patience on top of everything else in the world. But are you guys finding like one, you either have to work on your crap or it's just too painful, or two, you just have to work on your crap or it's just too painful? It's just too painful. Okay, let's see what she's got on. It's quiet too. Hold on. It's not on my end. There's sound issues right now.
You are not to view the place where the offense was. You are not to form or express any opinion on this case until
I never spell check here, so don't worry. I'm a little dyslexic with my spelling and grammar, and so
required to report to
I
the
don't
police any
ever spell check people.
attempt to communicate with you on the case or any subject connected with the trial.
It's not my sound that's doing this. It's their sound, you guys. Shoot. Let me refresh it and make sure it's.
However, we will make record available for your use reaching a decision in this.
Okay, Laura Lynn, I'll look for it. As soon as the sound gets working, I'm going to come down into chat. Drats.
You should disregard.
Are they saying anything? Yeah, it's everyone over in court TV is like, what the heck? Need a new tack. I need a new tack. I need a tack, actually. Oh, it's annoying when this happens, but it's not my fault, you guys. I feel like I need to put like something along the bottom. Not Parawomenradio's fault this time, because I know my audio. I have tons of issues with my audio. The first thing that I do when I get my new system is I'm going to get a desk and I'm going to get a better audio laptop setup.
throughout. You'll hear that our friend you'll hear that she had weekends and that she was at times.
Yeah, if it's the court TV's person, I mean, it's not working at all, and they're the only ones that are streaming it. Oh, wait, let's
Stepdaughter of
see if
Keith
Law and Crime
Smiley.
has it better. Oh, it is.
Hear that Corey's
Gosh darn it, Law and Crime has it. So
anxiety and stress. You'll hear that she continued smoking those vape pens even after in therapy.
dang it. Okay, I'm coming down.
So
in the
now
chat.
I want to take you to the real reason we're here and what you'll hear. We're here because on March the 19th, 2024, Carly rode to school with her mother that day. Ashley was a school teacher at Northwest Rankin, taught geometry. Carly was in the 10th grade. You'll hear that morning she got in a little altercation with one of her friends, cussed him out. But what you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, from the testimony of this friend is that he was so worried about Carly's use of smoking marijuana, and so worried about her being high, and so worried about her having these burner phones that her mom didn't know about, that he felt compelled to tell Miss Ashley Smiley that day. Ladies and gentlemen, after the incident with Carly that morning, you'll hear that he gets in touch with another friend, and he's like, hey, you got to keep her distracted so I can go tell Miss Smiley what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, this friend cared about Carly. He was like, I gotta intervene. I gotta tell her. I'm afraid of what's happening. You'll hear from him that he did in fact tell Miss Smiley. That after fourth block that day, he goes and he tells Miss Smiley, hey, Carly has got these vapes. She's got this phone. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear then that Carly Gregg rides in the car home with her mother from school to their house. They leave school sometime after 3:30. They get home a little before 4. You'll hear that when they get inside the house, it's only their 2 dogs, Ashley Smiley and Carly Gregg. Immediately, Carly goes and lets the dogs out. You'll hear testimony that Ashley then goes into Carly's room. You'll hear that while Ashley is in her room, that Carly's still outside. At some point, Ashley finds what law enforcement believe to be the 4 boxes that contain vape pens. Testimony will be that we believe she carried them from Carly's room to her bedroom, went back to search in Carly's room. The evidence will show that almost immediately upon Carly coming inside the house, that she walks straight to her parents, goes straight to her mom's side of the bed, and removes a .357 Magnum from under the mattress. We believe the testimony will be that then she concealed that .357 Magnum behind her back. As she walked through the kitchen, she peeks her head around. We believe the testimony will show that she peeks her head around the kitchen to make sure that her mom hasn't come out of her bedroom. We believe the evidence will then show that she walked with that .357 Magnum behind her back, walked into her own bedroom, and then fired 3 shots into her mother, killing her. We believe the testimony will then be that very moment after she shot and killed her mother, she then hides that gun back out of the camera, walks back into that kitchen, sits down on a stool with a gun behind her, picks up her mother's cell phone, puts her mom's passcode into the phone. We believe the testimony will be that then she texted her stepdad and said something to the effect of, "When will you be home, honey?" Testimony will be that then she waited for him to respond. "I'll be a little bit longer." She sends him a thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe the testimony will then be that after she puts the phone back down and walks out of sight with the camera, that between the next 45 minutes or so, that the defendant reaches out to or attempts to reach out to about 5 or 6 of her friends. Some were FaceTime, some were text messages. We believe the evidence will show that during this time, she was asking them all for help, trying to get them to come over to her house. She wouldn't tell them why. We believe that one of them's going to say he even offered to call 911, and she told him no. The evidence will also be that one of these friends did in fact come over to help Carly that day. She didn't know why, but she knew that her friend needed help, and she went to that home. We believe the evidence will show that when that friend arrived at Carly's house, that Carly walked to the front door, asked her, "Are you squeamish around dead bodies?" We believe the evidence will show that then she took that friend and showed her her dead mother laying on the floor. We believe the evidence will show that after that, she says, "I put 3 in my mom, and I got 3 more waiting for my stepdad when he gets home." We believe the evidence will show that then she tells this friend, "Hey, why don't you go wait outside in the backyard? My stepdad's about to be home." This friend will testify that she does go in the backyard and she hears gunshots. And the next thing she sees is Carly coming out of the back door. We believe the testimony will be that she fell down coming out of the back door, gets up and tells her to run. And these 2 individuals, this friend and Carly, jump over the fence and run separate directions. You'll hear testimony that there was a 911 call. You'll hear a frantic Heath Smiley telling the dispatcher, "Oh my God, she's killed her mother. She hit me in the neck. It grazed me. She tried to kill me too. She's run off." You'll hear from law enforcement when they arrived on the scene that Carly Gregg had fled the scene. You'll hear from law enforcement that when they arrived on the scene, Ashley Smiley was very much dead in the floor in Carly's bedroom, and that they found that Heath Smiley had been shot and hit in the shoulder, through and through. You will hear from law enforcement that sometime after the day of the event, they learned that there was cameras involved, that this home had surveillance video. You'll learn that one of those videos was turned over by the living victim, Heath Smiley, and it shows Carly Gregg and her friend jumping over the fence. And then you'll learn that there was another camera in the house on March the 19th, 2024. That Carly was hiding the gun out of sight of. And you'll hear that that camera was not in the kitchen when law enforcement got there, and it was not in the kitchen where it should have been when Heath Smiley got there. It wasn't until sometime later that that camera was discovered. Ladies and gentlemen, you will hear that Ashley Smiley's cause of death, gunshot wounds to the head. Ashley Smiley's manner of death, homicide. You will hear that Heath Smiley says, "Carly Gregg is the one that shot at me." And on his 911 call, he said that she tried to kill him. You'll hear him say that he did not move that camera, the only other person living in the home. Ladies and gentlemen, you also hear from forensic scientists from the Mississippi Forensics Laboratory. You'll hear that both of Carly Gregg's hands tested positive, both the right and the left. You'll hear that the .357 Magnum that was used to kill her mother and shoot her stepfather, they took swabs. They took a swab of the trigger and they took a swab of the hammer. And you will hear that the DNA profile that matches those swabs belongs to Carly Gregg. Ladies and gentlemen, you will also hear that there were 2 projectiles removed from Carly Gregg's mother, Ashley Smiley. One in her brain, one in her neck. Projectiles were tested with ballistics, and that those projectiles matched the .357 Magnum that Heath Smiley took out of Carly Gregg's hand that day on March the 19th, 2024. And ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this trial, after you've heard the evidence, the state will stand before you, and we will ask that you murder, attempted murder, and tampering with physical evidence. Thank you, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to make its opening now, or do you wish to defer?
The defense will go ahead, Your Honor.
Opening statement by the defense.
Good afternoon. I know it's been a long morning for you all, so I will try to do this as briefly as possible. This is not a whodunit case. We know who took action on March 19th to bring about the death of Ashley Smiley and the injuries to Heath Smiley. However, this is a why case. Why did it happen? Why did this exceptional child with no history of violence, who was loved by her friends, her teachers, her parents, who had a good home life, who loved her mother, why did she shoot her mom? Why did she shoot at her stepfather? The state would like you to believe the answer to those questions don't matter, but we know better than that. The answers to those questions is why we're here today, and it's what you're here to do. We believe the evidence will show that there were 3 victims on March 19th: Ashley Smiley, Heath Smiley, and Carly Smiley, and Carly Gregg, that they were all 3 victims. We believe the evidence will show that Carly had been suffering from a mental illness, that Carly was not aware on March 19th that she had a mental illness. We believe the evidence will show that Carly's parents, who lived with her, were not aware that illness. We believe the evidence will show that Carly's close friends, who saw her at school every day, were not aware that Carly was suffering from a mental illness, because it's hard to look at a person and understand that they have a mental illness. It's hard to look at a person and know that they have a mental illness. That's why it's often referred to as the invisible disease. A person can exhibit symptoms of a mental illness without people necessarily knowing that they have one, or other people necessarily knowing the person has. While the events on March 19th were tragic, the events on March 19th were not intentional. The evidence will show, and the testimony will show, that Carly Gregg loved her mother, that Carly Gregg and her mother had a loving, close relationship. Carly Gregg's mom loved her. In fact, her life revolved around Carly, as parents' lives often do revolve. Carly very much wanted to please her mother. Carly was an exceptional student, made a 30 on the ACT when she was 13 years old. She was the apple of her mother and her stepfather's eye. And you will understand by the conclusion of this hearing why Carly's stepfather is standing behind her. Because he knows on March 19th, there were 3 victims: Ashley, Heath, and Carly. The state will ask you to take your good judgment, to take your common sense, and to put it in a bucket, to put the lid on the bucket, and to toss the bucket out of this courtroom. We implore you not to do that, to retain your common sense, to retain your good judgment, and to make sure that you are listening to the evidence as it's presented, because it doesn't matter how many witnesses the state puts on, their story is filled with inconsistencies because they're not telling the whole story. The evidence will not show that Carly was ever deemed dangerous by anyone. The evidence will not show that Carly ever had any desire to hurt her mother. The evidence will not show that Carly ever had any desire to hurt any person. The evidence will not show that Carly invited people over to her house to view her mom's body. What it will show is that on March 19th, a hysterical Carly called her closest friends, begging them for help, begging them to help her. The evidence will show that Carly did not recognize Heath Smiley when he got home that day. You'll hear that from him himself. The evidence will show that Carly was so terrified when Heath Smiley got home on March 19th that even after Carly left the house, Heath walked around the house with the handgun in his hand looking for an intruder because he was convinced by Carly, by how she appeared, by how she acted, did that day, by the child he had known for years, that she was terrified, something in that house to cause that kind of terror in Carly. What the evidence will not show is that Carly had a drug problem. What the evidence will not show is that Carly and her mother had any argument on March 19th. What the evidence will not show is that Carly had any desire to hurt her stepfather. What the evidence will not show is that Ashley Smiley was angry when she left school that day, or that Ashley Smiley was upset with Carly when she left school that day, or that after they got home on March 19th, Ashley and Carly engaged in an argument. The evidence will not show that Ashley Smiley found anything in Carly's bedroom that would have caused an argument. The evidence will not show that Carly intended to hurt anyone. The evidence will not show that Carly has not grieved her mother's loss. The evidence will not show that law enforcement did their due diligence in investigating this matter. The evidence will not show that Carly was abusing or misusing prescription medication. The evidence will not show that Carly was just a teenager who had a life that her parents didn't know everything about. That's called having a teenager and being a parent. The evidence will not show that Carly had ever tried to harm another person, had ever had a desire to hurt another person. The evidence will not show that Carly is a monster, that Carly was a difficult child, a troubled child, or a deranged child. The evidence will not show that Carly Gregg does not deserve you to return a verdict of not guilty. Now, the evidence will show that Carly had a family history of mental illness. In fact, it was well documented. The evidence will show that Carly was concerned that something was wrong with her. She wrote journal entries about it. The evidence will show that Carly was afraid she had the same mental illness that her father had. The evidence will show that Carly's mother had worried for years about Carly having the same mental illness that her father had. The evidence will show that Carly was very emotionally tied into her mother's emotions and that Carly never wanted her mother to worry about her. The evidence will show that Carly was scared of how her mother would react to the knowledge that if Carly had the same mental illness that her father had. That doesn't sound like a child that doesn't love her mom. And that doesn't sound like a child who has any intention of hurting her mother. The state would like you to believe that it's normal for her to go home from school one day with their mother, who they love, and shoot her, but nothing's wrong. It was just marijuana. Or because she was on social media and her mom didn't want her on social media. But again, we ask you to retain your common sense and to retain your good judgment, because we know that just doesn't make sense. And at the end of this trial, if the state's case still leaves you feeling like their version of events just doesn't make sense, then you must return a verdict of not guilty.
State may call its first witness.
State calls Kevin Collins, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Lewis approaching the start of the PBS.
Yeah, my foot went all the way down.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Adjust yourself up to the microphone. Yes. Do you understand that you're now under oath and your answers to be sworn answer?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name's Kevin Collins.
And Mr. Collins, where do you work?
I work Rankin County Sheriff's Department dispatch.
All right. And you say dispatch. Explain to us just a little bit about what dispatch is and what you do as part of your job responsibilities.
Basically, we take all the incoming calls from the county and the community, even some from the cities for emergency situations, and we dispatch proper personnel, whether it be medical, fire, law enforcement.
And how long have you worked for Rankin County Sheriff's Office in that role?
I started in the Sheriff's Department February 7th, 2022.
Okay. And before February of 2022, did you have any experience working in that role in any other for any other departments or agencies?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen about that?
I started with Hinds County Sheriff's Department in June of 2007. I worked 2 years at the city of Flowood, and then I worked Yazoo County E911, a couple of years at Mendenhall Police Department, and then the last 6 years before I came to Rankin County, I was a supervisor at the city of Florence.
And you talked about some of your job duties and responsibilities. As part of your responsibilities and duties, do you dispatch fire services?
Yes, we do fire services.
Do you dispatch police?
Yes.
Do you, EMTs?
That is done through Pafford.
Okay. Who contacts Pafford in the event that EMTs are needed?
We transfer the caller. In the perfect situation, we transfer the caller to Pafford so they can ask the proper questions.
Okay. And I understand that over the years, maybe some of the training requirements have changed, but whenever you became a dispatcher, what were the training requirements in order to become a dispatcher?
Within the first year, you had to go through a 40-hour basic certification class plus a 8-hour ride-along with each department that you dispatch, whether it be fire, law enforcement, medical. In every continuous year, you have to do 48 hours in 6 different subjects for every 3 years to recertify.
So did you do those initial requirements back whenever you started?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you ride along with those different agencies that you dispatched?
Yes, I did.
All right. And have you kept up your continuing education hours throughout the years?
Yes, sir, I have.
And who are you certified through? Who keeps up with that?
Board of Standards and Training through the state of Mississippi.
Okay. And you said you worked at Rankin County since February of 2022. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you guys work in shifts, or how does your schedule work?
We do. My shift is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and we do a 3-2 split, which is like 1 week we'll work Monday, Tuesday, and then the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then the next week we will work Wednesday and Thursday, and it just alternates the following weeks.
Okay. How many dispatchers work at a time for Rankin County?
There's 4 of us at a time on duty.
And how do you guys handle calls that come in to, say, 911?
If it's an emergency situation, then, we've got this thing where we'll snap our fingers and somebody else will pick up on the call. That way one of us can get all the information we can while the other one's dispatching it out. So
is it possible that more than one person can be listening to the call at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to take you back to March 19th of this year, March 19th, 2024. Were you employed as a dispatcher with Rankin County at that time?
Yes, I was.
And that was as a dispatcher?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
Do you recall receiving a call from an individual by the name of Mr. Heath Smiley that day?
Yes, I do.
And what was the reason for Mr. Smiley calling 911?
He called because he had been shot. At first, he said he had grazed the neck. Once during the middle of the call, he then stated that his wife was also shot dead on the floor. And I continued to talk to him until deputies arrived on scene.
And do you recall the address that Mr. Smiley was calling from?
Yes, it was 214 Ashton's Way.
Okay. Is that address located in Rankin County?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Mr. Collins, how would you describe Mr. Smiley's demeanor whenever you first picked up the phone that day?
He was very distraught. At first, I thought I was speaking with a female. It wasn't until I found out his name that I knew it was a male. And then I just continued to get further information from him, what I could. He couldn't even, when I asked him the address the first time, he couldn't even tell me the address. I went off of the 911, which gave us, I believe, 215 Ashton Way. And then later on during the call, I verified with him what his address was.
Okay. And you mentioned that Mr. Smiley stated that he was grazed and that his wife was dead. Did he tell you anything else?
He also advised that his stepdaughter had shot him and that he had taken the gun from her and she ran out the back door wearing, I believe, a gray shirt and jeans and went over the back fence. I got a description from him that we could pass along to our officers, and that's most of it, except he did also advise that she had been going through some things and was on medication trying to deal with some stuff.
Okay. When someone calls 911, are those calls recorded?
Yes, they are.
And do you know whether or not those calls are kept in the normal course of business by the Rankin County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Do you know whether your call with Mr. Smiley on March 19, 2024 was recorded?
Yes, it was.
And do you know whether or not that call was kept in the normal course and scope of business by the Rankin County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you listened to that call before?
Yes, I have.
May I approach, Your Honor? Mr. Collins, I handed you an item. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir. It's a disc of the recording.
And how do you know that's what that is?
Because I initialed and dated it.
Okay. Have you watched or listened to that call before?
Yes, I have.
And you said there are some initials on there. Are those your initials?
Yes, sir, they are.
Whenever you listened to that call, did it appear to be altered or edited in any way?
No, it did not.
Okay. Your Honor, at this point, we would move this disc in as State's Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Be admitted as one all purposes.
May I retrieve the disc now?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Collins, you mentioned that you listened to this. Is this a complete call recording of the call with Mr. Smiley that day?
Yes, it is from beginning to end.
Okay. Your Honor, may I publish this for the jury, please?
Yes, sir.
What's the location of your emergency? What daughter sent me to me? Your daughter tried to shoot you? Where's she at? She ran away. How old is she? 14. 14? Okay, ma'am, stay on the phone. Ma'am, stay on the phone with me. Just calm down. What's your name? Smiley. Okay, calm calm down for me. Give me your name again. Heath Smiley. Heath Smiley? Yes, sir. All right, mister, what's your phone number you calling me from? Did she hit you? Yeah, I got hit in the neck a little bit. Okay, so did it graze your neck? Yes, sir. All right, and what's her name? Carly Gregg. Carly Gregg? You still have a gun on her? From her, she ran. You took it from her and she ran? Yes, sir. She was screaming something at me I couldn't understand. I locked the door. She's out. What's going on? Which way did she run off to? She ran into the backyard and went over a fence. Ran into the backyard and went over your fence? Yeah. What is she wearing? T-shirt, gray shirt and some jeans. Gray shirt and jeans? About how tall is she? 5'2". About 5'2"? What color hair? Brownish, brownish and short hair. 5'2". Understand? I locked the door. She's outside. I don't know what's going on. Which way did she run off to? She ran into the backyard and went over a fence. Ran into the backyard and went over your fence? Yeah. She what? She killed her mom! She killed her mom? Yeah, that's what I'm screaming about. Where's the mom? When I do this, she tried to kill me. Where's the mom at? Sir. She opened fire on me and was just screaming. Okay, just calm down for me. We got everybody in. She what? She killed her mom. She killed her mom? Yeah. Sir. Okay, your address is 215, correct? 214. 214. His address is 214. Okay, sir. Where's your wife? She's dead on the floor of my stepdaughter's room. She's on the floor in your stepdaughter's room? What's your wife's name? Ashley Smiley. Ashley Smiley? Was there any problem? Sir, I need you to speak with me, okay? Can you go outside the house and speak to me? Okay. Okay. Now, was there any problem going on with is it your stepdaughter or She's my stepdaughter. And her mom. I don't know what's going on. The stepdaughter's been in her for a little while, trying to work out some problems in the home. I'm not distracted. Okay, and you say your wife has been shot? Open the door, the cops are here. They're there. Okay, sir, I'm gonna let you speak with them, okay? Okay. Speak with them, okay?
No further questions, Your Honor. The defense wish to use the projector for cross-examination.
The defense has no cross-examination for this one.
All right, you may step down, sir. Are you going to use that with your next witness?
Yes, sir.
Before we go to the next witness, any jurors need a restroom break? All right, state may call its next witness.
State calls Deputy Hunter Lewis, Your Honor.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Have a seat. Just yourself up to the microphone. Do you understand that you're now under oath and your answers will be sworn answers of the penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Would you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Hunter Lewis,
All right, Hunter, and where do you work?
Rankin County Sheriff's Office.
All right, and what role do you work at the sheriff's office?
Patrol.
All right, and as a patrol deputy at Rankin County, what do you do on a daily basis?
I answer 911 calls and assist the public when they call for assistance.
Okay. How long have you been in law enforcement? Anywhere other than Rankin County, or have you been?
Places.
Okay, where else have you worked?
I worked at Hines County, Flowwood.
Okay. And where did you start? Did you start at Hines County?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of training did you go through in order to become a certified police officer?
Went to Mississippi Law Enforcement Officer Training Academy.
Okay. And approximately how long was that training?
12 weeks.
All right. As a patrol deputy now at Rankin County, do you complete any kind of ongoing training or continuing education?
I do.
And tell us just a little bit about what kind of training you go through.
We have to do annual training yearly throughout the year.
Okay. And what kind of topics does that annual training cover?
Just different aspects of the job.
Okay. Is it related to patrol or is it investigations? Tell us just a little bit about it.
Patrol.
Okay. Now, I want to take you back to March of this year, specifically March 19th, 2024. Were you employed as a patrol deputy at Rankin County on March 19th, 2024?
Yes, sir, I was.
All right. Do you recall receiving a call for service at 214 Ashton Way?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Is that in a subdivision or where is that?
It is.
What subdivision is that?
It's in Farmington Station, Norfolk.
Okay. Is that in Rankin County?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Did you respond to 214 Ashton Way?
Yes, sir, I did.
Whenever you arrived at 214 Ashton Way on March 19, 2024, were there any other law enforcement personnel there whenever you arrived?
No, sir.
So were you the first one there?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Whenever you arrived on scene that day on March 19th at 214 Ashland Way, just tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you observed whenever you got there.
When I arrived, the door was locked, but I could hear somebody screaming and highly upset on the inside of the house.
Okay. Did you later find out who was inside the house?
Yes, sir, I did.
Who was that?
He's Smiley.
At any point, did Mr. Smiley come outside or tell us what happened next?
Yes, I knocked on the door several times, announced who I was, and then he opened the door.
Can you describe Mr. Smiley's demeanor that you personally observed?
He was hysterical, highly upset, crying.
Okay. Whenever he came out, tell us what happened next.
He fell to the ground on the porch just outside the front door once, and then I asked him where his wife was. He said that she was inside on the floor.
What information, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Deputy Lewis, what information, if any, had you been provided by dispatch?
Just advised that been 2 people shot inside the residence.
Okay, so you stated that Mr. Smiley came outside, then you spoke to him briefly. Then what happened next?
After I spoke to him, I went inside to check on the other party bedroom.
Okay, and then once did you do anything to Miss Smiley whenever you encountered her inside?
I did. I initially checked for a pulse, and I couldn't feel a pulse, so I lifted the towel to see what kind of see what had happened, and that's when I noticed she had been shot in the face.
Okay, you mentioned a towel. Tell us, we haven't heard that before, so tell us what are you talking about? You
Into the bedroom, she was laying flat on her back with her arms crossed with a towel over her face.
How were her arms crossed, if you recall?
Across the top of her chest.
Okay. And did you later confirm the identity of the female inside?
I did.
And who was that?
Ashley Smiley.
Okay. After checking Miss Smiley's pulse, what did you do then?
Then went back outside. I radio dispatched and asked them to have medical come on in, and went back outside to where Mr. Smiley.
Whenever you got back outside, were there any other law enforcement officers there at that time?
There.
Okay, and who was that?
Deputy Dustin Smith.
Okay. And once you returned back outside and encountered Mr. Smiley again on the front porch, what happened after that?
He told me who had shot him and gave me a description of what she was wearing.
And who did he tell you shot him?
His step.
By her name?
Carly Gregg.
Okay. And what did he tell you she was wearing?
She was wearing, I can't recall exactly what he has told me.
And then after that, what did you do next with that information?
Radioed to the units that was responding.
Did Mr. Smiley ever say anything about a gun or anything like that?
He did.
Okay. Tell us about that.
He advised that the gun that was used was laying on the counter and there was one live round in the cylinder.
Did he say what type of gun it was?
357.
Okay. And then what did you do after that, if anything?
I let the other officers know about the weapon, and then had the crime scene taped off.
Okay. And so how long did you stay out there that day?
Until took possession of Miss Smiley.
Okay. And after, at some point, did investigators get there? What happened with that?
When they arrived on the scene, they started taking photographs and processing the scene.
Okay. Now, Deputy Lewis, as a patrol deputy with Rankin County, do you wear a body worn camera?
Yes, sir, I do.
And tell us, when do you activate your camera?
Anytime dealing with the public.
Okay. On March 19th, 2024, whenever you responded to 214 Ashton Way, were you wearing body worn camera that day?
Yes, sir, I was.
Did your body worn camera, in fact, did it record what happened whenever you arrived there on the scene?
Yes, sir, it did.
Do you know whether that body worn camera footage is kept by the Rankin County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir, it is.
Since March 19th, 2024, have you reviewed that footage?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. That approach on. Sure. Deputy Lewis, I handed you an object. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is that?
It's a copy of my body cam footage.
How do you know that's what that is?
Because I initialed it after I watched it.
Okay, so you watched that and initialed it.
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. That the footage that you watched on there, is that a true and accurate depiction of what your body cam recorded on March 19th, 2024 at 214 Ashton Way?
Yes, sir, it is.
Had that video been edited or altered in any way?
No, sir.
All right. Your Honor, at this time we would move this in as State's Exhibit 2.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Be admitted without objection, ST.
And Your Honor, I would ask for permission to post this to the jury.
All right.
Yeah, go back inside. Sheriff's office! Sheriff's office! Hey, come on, shuffle. Hey, come on. Hey, where's your wife at, bud? Where's your wife at?
She's dead on the floor in that room.
She's where? Sheriff's office! Hello? That's I need medical here. Well, I need you to go. Hey, where's your son wearing? Hey, can you tell me what your son's wearing? Hey, I need you to talk to me. What is your son wearing?
He was in jeans and
Grayish t-shirt. She's got short, brownish hair.
So jeans, a gray t-shirt, short brown hair.
She ran into the backyard. I tried to follow her. She jumped the fence and ran. She shot me in the neck. It's okay.
Does she still have the gun?
It's on the kitchen counter. I think there's one live round left in it. I opened the cylinder. I went in the back door. She tried to shoot me.
Hey, I need some gloves. Hey, he's saying that she ran towards Magnolia Place.
Are you sure?
He's Grace, but he's 10-2. It went through his shirt.
You got me right there.
Magnolia Place, that gate is subdivision.
She went over the side back towards my vehicle. She might have looked around this way.
Might look back going back towards the pond right there.
Hold on just a second.
Hey, she does not have the firearm. The firearm is here at the house. Hey, he's been grazed, but he's 10-2. She's laying in the floor with a towel. She's that's all that makes sense. We're gonna Will you take that tape right there and just go to those trees, from my car to those trees? Actually, go for the mailbox. It's a 357. Does she have any kind of, what's her name? What?
Carly Gregg.
Carly Gregg? How old is she?
14. She'll be 15 next month. Okay. Work. She's stopping one for the door.
She jumped the fence, he said. She didn't go out the back door. Yes, he no, we got one. She's 7. She's not. The back door is locked. She did not go out the back door. Therefore, that's what he's claiming. Gray shirt, blue jeans, short brown hair. Hey, y'all do be advised. There's several firearms in the house, but the one that he's saying was used is laying on the table, but that doesn't mean she's not on it.
We don't know the shit you've done.
some information from you. What is her name again?
Carly, C-A-R-L-Y.
C-A-R-L-Y?
Carly Madison Gregg, G-R-E-G-G.
G-R-E-G-G?
She's my stepdaughter.
All right.
This is Starkville, and we're having all kind of problems with him. He's drugs and stuff.
What is your name, sir?
Smiley.
He's Smiley?
Okay. All right.
What's your wife's number? Name?
Have you called her? Have you called her?
Hey, how old is Ashley? How's your wife? 40. 40? Hey, I need you to find an Ashley Smiley. Ashley Smiley, 40 years of age, white female. Also, I got a 27 for the other victims. 801-151-492. 801-151-492. Suspect is going to be Carly, C-A-R-L-Y, Madison Gregg. Carly Madison Gregg, G-R-E-G-G.
Yes, sir, the top three.
Let me, do y'all just roll with him right now? Or y'all, I can't get a picture.
What I was gonna say is, if you need to get anything with him, do it.
Yeah. And we're gonna have somebody come to the hospital. I'm sure. So,
Yeah. So I'm just.
That's all I need. This is wife. This is his wife. That's her room. I kept asking her mom. That's my wife. And I kept asking, did you call his wife? And I was trying to.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead and do what you got to do. So he's got I'm getting information good. It's a through the shoulder. As of right now, this is him. What she said. Ashley Smiley, she's 40 years old. And then the one we're looking for is Carly Madison Gregg. She's 14. They've been having issues with her in the past. So this is the stepfather. But that's some we need on him. I said we'll probably send somebody up there with him.
Yeah. You go to YouTube. Madness. I'm saying. Get a picture, you know. Get a picture, you know. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. That's why I was trying to just like. So you're gonna want to see? What? There's all little girls, mother. There's several dudes in the house. I need a crumb like solo. So we'll take care of that, okay? Even better than the piano. We'll take care of it, okay? You try to take a picture of that so y'all have y'all's information? I'm just going to get all this information from him. I don't need that. Okay, all right. I got Reverend going to start this for me. Okay. What's his name? Burnell. Tyler Burnell. Okay. I thought I recognized him. He's ex-Pearl. Yeah, Pearl and Flowood, all of them. They've been everywhere. That be better? Works for me, but it's going to be, we'll use it up pretty quick. I get it from Burnell. Yeah, hey, turn around. Hey, y'all turn around real quick. You try to take a picture. You don't want to. I don't think 20 has one either right now. Oh, I have no idea. He said they've been having an issue. I couldn't really get nothing out of it. I didn't really get much from him because he told, you know, all he told me is she took, huh? Yeah, all he kept telling me was she ran out the back door because the back door is dead bolted. You got blood. Yeah, what's the easiest way? Maybe he probably didn't have it in the either things to try to keep him coming back. Did he say the wife's name was Ashley? Ashley? Yeah. Who did this? Ashley Smiley. Ashley Smiley. Where's Mom? I just she was back there. Tyler got that good camera. Yeah. Hey, Tyler, the gun that's used is right there on the counter in the kitchen. No. They're still alive? Yeah. My dust hit. Dad saw who, she's in here. Oh, no, it was a juvenile on the other side waiting for her. What? Oh, that's what he has got his ass picked up? Yeah, got it. Oh, sweet. Figure out where the fuck she's going. Now this is kind of there's a bunch of gun cases and stuff laying right there. That closet is running full of guns. So we know she may still have access to them. She's in there, Doug. I mean, I couldn't get nothing in the front door. He was explaining something to me about the mother, the father, because he's stepdad too. Okay. Yeah. Tell him me and Dustin's already cleared the house. Me and Dustin's already cleared the house. Me and Dustin's already cleared the house. Me and Dustin cleared the house.
I'm talking every closet, under the beds, everything. You know how cheap I hide the damn spot.
But Dad, he said she ran out the back door.
I know. But Dad might. You never know. Look, I want to go through the house and I want to very politely. I want to look under beds. I want to look in closets, behind clothes. Let's make sure she's not in this house before we exhaust a whole lot out of it. You know how cheap an car.
Did y'all? Me and Dustin walked through and cleared the house, but
did you look under beds?
We didn't get that far. We looked in closets and stuff like that.
Hey, come in here. Yeah, I quickly cleared it, but I didn't. Yeah, let's hit all of it. Clear. Thank you.
That's mom.
Oh, yeah.
No, mom and dad both got it.
Mom and dad both what?
Got hit.
Okay. And dad's
got it through and through in the shoulder. He's already in the ambulance.
So it's the 14-year-old?
Yeah, the 14-year-old.
Yeah. I found out on the way here. Yeah. If it's 40 years old, did y'all not hear Ray? Yeah, I heard Ray. No, it's 15. Probably right. 2 foot was up. You guys say he was trying to be with her? Yeah. Well, she texted.
No. Where was the other guy? Who was that? The one I was just talking to? Exit. Okay. Yeah. Exit for me on. What do you want, Nessie? She's 14, so she's not gonna have anything. But there's some screens. There's some screens in here. You see, this thing right here is doing some pictures. Short now. They got her. Oh. They got me.
I just think I made 2. What was that?
Huh? Deputy Lewis, I heard a call out there. They said that they got her at 17:35. Is that 5:35 p.m.?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And what did you know about whether or not custody at that time?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What did they mean whenever they said that they took her into custody at 17:35?
They took her into custody at 5:35.
And do you know who that was that they were talking about?
Yes, sir. It was one of our. Interdiction units.
Okay. And who did they take into custody?
Carly Gregg.
Okay. And I think the video goes on a little bit longer, but your testimony was earlier that you stayed out there until the coroner showed up. Is that correct?
That is.
And what type of things were you doing until the coroner showed up?
Just help processing the scene and.
Okay. Court's indulgence. Two more brief questions, Deputy Lewis. I heard you use two, I guess in the police world, what they call 10 codes on there. And I think you said one was 10-2 and one was 10-7. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that means?
10-2 means okay and 10-7 means deceased.
Okay. And who were you referring to as 10-2 in the video?
Heath Smiley.
And who was 10-7?
The mother, Ashley Smiley.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you intend to use the video?
No, Your Honor.
All right. If you, Mr. Livingston, if you would, he's not going to use that. Would you move that out of the way, please?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to unplug it necessarily.
Yeah, you have this.
Okay.
Okay. Just real quick.
One moment, Mr. King. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Hunter, you were the first person on the scene. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is.
And I guess you had to knock on the door a few times in order to get Heath to come to the door. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I think when you answer, or I guess when he comes to the door, you see him and he's talking on a cell phone, correct?
Yes, sir, that is.
And at that time, he's actually talking to the 911 dispatcher, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then did you have him go out? I wasn't 100% sure when I was looking at the video. Did you have him come out, or did he come out and sit down?
Well, I asked him to come out.
Okay. And so when he comes out, you notice he's been injured at that point. Or did you, I think you asked him if he was injured, or you were able to ascertain that he was injured, right?
Yes.
And then you had him sit down. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did that because you're looking out for his safety, and if somebody's been injured, you don't want them walking around and possibly fainting and doing things like that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you were having him get on or sit down, try to calm down, because at this point you're trying to get some information from him about what happened, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I noticed you ask him what happened. He's telling you that I guess somebody had shot him. Is that correct?
Said that again, sir.
You were asking what happened, and he said somebody had shot him. Is that correct?
I don't recall that, sir.
Okay. He didn't tell you somebody had shot him? Didn't you ask him what happened, and he said that his stepdaughter had shot him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think it took you a couple times because you had asked, what does your son look like? And it took you a couple that you had to think to realize that it's actually a stepdaughter, not a stepson. Would that be correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is all on video, correct? I mean, we just saw the video. This is all on video.
Yes, sir.
That's what we would call a body cam, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you have certain policy and procedures with the body cam, correct?
Yes, sir.
and I think you had said when you first got up on the stand, you were asked about why you wear a body cam or what it is, and you said any time that you have interaction with the public.
Yes, sir.
And it's for your safety, and it's also for the safety of the I guess the public, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have certain policies that say as long as you're out there, you can't turn that body cam off, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's a Rankin County Sheriff Department policy, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's I guess if you're wearing a body cam, you are, I guess, and you're with the Sheriff Department, everybody follows the same procedures.
Yes, sir.
May I beg the court's indulgence? No further questions.
Redirect.
Deputy Lewis, Mr. Campbell just asked you about body cams. Do you know whether investigators, in your personal knowledge, do you know whether investigators with the Rankin County Sheriff's Office wear body cams?
I don't know that, sir.
Okay. And the gentleman who showed up out there with the white shirt on, who was that?
Investigator Burnell.
Okay. Court's indulgence. Nothing further, Your Honor.
May this witness stand, be excused by the state,
Yes.
by the defense.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can stand down. I'll approach real quick. I'm gonna have the bailiff show you back, take a restroom break real quick, just so y'all know we do our best not to go past 5:30, okay? While you're back there, you'll need to go on ahead and start talking among yourselves about a very important topic, lunch tomorrow, okay? You have two options. And do not sleep on the first option, okay? The jail is serving pork chops tomorrow, okay? And I don't mind telling you, I'm gonna eat a pork chop tomorrow, okay? If you don't want the pork chop, we have a very limited menu available from Nukes, okay? I'm going to hand these to the bailiff when he takes you back there. Go on ahead and use the restroom, but we need to make a decision tonight about lunch tomorrow. Just for your knowledge, we're going to work through, okay? The lawyers are on their own for food, but the court will feed y'all, okay? So y'all going to have to start having that discussion among yourselves about tomorrow. Use this time for a restroom break. Everyone remain seated while the jury exits. Mr. Bailiff, let me know when they're done with the restroom.
Are they going to just sit there?
All right, everyone else will be in, it's 4:20, we'll be in recess till 4:30. Stay, go on there and get your next witness in on the front row.
Okay, so I'm on Eastern time, so he's saying it's 4:30, it's 5:30 here. So they're an hour behind. So if they don't go past, what did he say? They don't go past 5 or 5:30. And so that means that they probably start at 9 in the morning, which would be 10 tomorrow. So 10 a.m., I think you can expect me to be live with this case. We're talking about comparing Gypsy Rose and this girl. I firmly believe that Gypsy Rose has a direct influence on what's happening. I mean, she's trying to be an influencer and she has over what I don't even know what she has now over on TikTok because I have her blocked. But what does she have? 3 million, 9 million? I don't even remember. She was losing followers, but I don't know. But I just think that, there's a direct correlation to, okay, hold on, Maybelline, I gotta feed the dog. It's her time to eat, and you just have to wait about 10 minutes, okay? I know it's hard. It's hard. I'm just happy she's hungry. So I just feel like there is a correlation, and we're going to look at various cases of the young kids. There's a boy that just did this to his family. Can't think of the name of the kid, but it's a Florida case. It just happened. That's going to be the next one we look at. But let me play something real quick, and I will hold on one second. I can't believe that they're giving them food from the jail. How gross is that? We're going to play something from her pretrial hearing, and I will be right back, you guys.
We'll begin with docket number 168. The state filed a motion to limit to exclude motion of punishment. The defendant filed no response. Granted. Give me an order to that effect.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. One question regarding that punishment as well. The attempted murder statute requires bifurcation both for guilt and sentencing. And of course, we would ask that any comments about sentencing be reserved for the murder and the attempted murder.
For the sentencing things, yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, docket number 169, motion in limine to exclude golden rule and jury nullification arguments. No response was filed. It's granted. State's getting in order. All right, motion document number 170, motion in limine regarding facts not in evidence. No response was filed. Granted. Give me an order. Document number 171, motion in limine regarding speaking objections. No response was filed. Motion is granted. Document number 166, motion to suppress urine test. Heard from the state. I read the state's motion. Excuse me, I read the defense's motion. I read the state's response. State's burden of proof. Do you have any witnesses you wish to call?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
It is the state's burden of proof. Does the state have any witnesses it wishes to call?
Sure, Your Honor. The state calls Corey Gerber.
All right.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. You understand that you're not authorizing us to sworn answers of the other? I do. You may proceed.
If you would introduce yourself for the record.
My name is Corey Gerber.
And Mr. Gerber, what is your role currently?
I currently serve as the Rankin County Youth Court Prosecutor.
As a youth court prosecutor, do you have experience in information regarding what happens when an inmate is intaked at the juvenile detention facility?
I do.
And is there a policy and procedure put in place regarding drug screening of all offenders once they're taken into custody?
It is the practice of the juvenile detention center to drug test everybody that is brought in. That is my understanding.
And to be clear, could you explain for me kind of the breakdown out at the juvenile detention center? There is the youth part, the court part, of which you're a prosecutor, and then there is the detention part. Is that correct?
They're two separate entities. The juvenile detention center is run by the sheriff. The Rankin County Youth Court is the court, and they are separated by locked doors. We are two separate entities.
Okay, sorry about that. Be safe yourself, and we love you back. 10 million and dropping fast. So yeah, I think that this Wednesday, we're actually going to continue and talk about this topic. It's either going to be Wednesday or Friday. And yeah, I think it's an important topic because I feel like we need to talk about more than like just how stupid she is, how stupid, I don't mean like I'm just talking about like everything about her is just stupid to me. It just drives me crazy. And I'm not talking about her intelligence in any way, her mentality, and I just feel like with any darkness in the world, we've just got to counteract it. And you do that with knowledge and yeah, and just continuing to be kind to each other. All right, let me see if I can find something out there. What time is it? It's 4:28. They should be back any minute now. Let me make sure I've got the thing up and going so when they come back. I do. Okay. All right. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll watch a little bit of my video that I put out today. How about that? Let me pull it up for you guys. I've been doing more videos lately, turning the lives into videos and cutting them up and getting rid of all the added like space so that it's just easier and faster to watch. And I missed you guys so much. Hold on. There we go. Hi guys, welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. Do you believe Gypsy Rose Blanchard is sending a dark and tragic message to our youth? One of the reasons I'm so deeply invested in covering the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case is because I fear that the act of unaliving one's own parent may be seen as a viable solution to dealing with troublesome family members and or as a means to obtain wealth to our youth today. It may sound utterly absurd, but unfortunately, that is a concern that plagues my mind in today's society. Thanks, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Tonight, let's explore the chilling story of Carly Gregg. At just 14 years old, Carly ended her mother's life and attempted to do the same to her stepfather. However, her stepfather managed to thwart. I am considering doing some merch revolving around. Thanks, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Like, I stubbed my toe. Thanks, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Okay, they're back.
Media in the room. State statute prohibits you recording audio or video any juvenile. And this court's prior order was that any juveniles to be referred to in the press by.
They're going to get in trouble because they were filming Carly. Is that what it's going to happen?
Initials. So, Mr. Cameraman, turn off the camera. You're done. You're good.
Oh. All right. Let's pop over to the other one then. Cameraman is out for, what was it? Law and crime. Let me go over to this one. And this camera guy's not back yet. So over on Law and Crime. Or over on
witness?
Oh wait, hold on.
All right. For any media in the room, state statute prohibits you recording audio or video any juvenile. In this court's prior order, initials. So, Mr. Cameraman, turn off the camera. You're done. You're good. All right.
So we're only going to be able to watch over on Court TV. Law and Crime got in trouble. They were showing Carly. They were showing her a lot. We got a lot of good footage of her. Oh, wait, did he make the other one leave too? Did he make everyone leave? What? Oh, you guys, I think he made everybody leave. No, don't ruin it for us. Let me look and see if I can find what's going on. How annoying. Let me see what they're saying in chat over on Law and Crime. Let's see what they're saying. I want to see the whole thing. Not a kid, I tell you that. Well, Mississippi needs to get a grip. But tried as an adult. She's being tried as an adult, so why can't we film her as an adult? See, this whole double standard thing is not right. We can try her as an adult, but we can't film her as an adult. We can try her as an adult, but she can't vote as an adult. We can try her as an adult, but she can't legally buy those vapes that she was smoking. Yes, Mally, she's being tried as an adult and she's being held at an adult prison. Yeah, I don't see the case anywhere. I don't think he's letting them film it, but it just seems like court TV or something would come on and talk about it. Unless they're all talking about it right now. Let me put on the video I was showing you and then let me look around and see what is going on. Okay. Stepfather managed to thwart her deadly plan through, well, I guess just by surviving. Right? He's mad. So join me as we delve into the dark and twisted world of Carly Gregg and Gypsy Rose Blanchard on tonight's episode of Parawomenradio. The shocking truth behind these heinous acts will keep us, might keep you up at night, especially if you have children. And I hate to say that, I truly do. I mean, we should feel safe in our own home. Our home should be our safe haven from the outside world, not from what's inside of it. While we wait for the rest of the power crew to arrive, I'm going to roll some credits. Special shout out to my replay crew and my dragonflies. I've missed you guys so much. Having a migraine, I decided is for the birds, but then I thought, why do we say it's for the birds? It's more like for the mosquitoes. So having a migraine is for the mosquitoes.
I'm having bad thought after bad thought after bad thought today. Everything is falling down on top of me. I wanna lie here on this cold hard ground and cry for a while. And I really don't care who sees me at this point in time.
Back with my power crew on Wednesday night. How's everyone doing? I was thinking maybe we'll go back and rewatch the opening statement since I was having an issue. I was over on a different court page. So let's do that. Let's go and rewatch the opening statements because I'm sure this is going to be taken down because they weren't supposed to be filming her. So let's do that.
The case has been submitted to you for deliberation. You are not to converse with anyone else on any subject connected with the trial until you're discharged as jurors in this case. You are not to permit yourselves to be exposed to outside comments or news accounts of the proceedings until you are discharged as jurors in this case. You are not to conduct any independent research about this case, the legal issues, and or the parties involved. You are not to view the place where the offense was allegedly committed. You are not to form or express any opinion on this case until it has been submitted to you for deliberation. You are not permitted to mix and mingle with the attorneys, parties, witnesses, and spectators, and you are to avoid all contacts with those persons. You are required to report to the court any communication or attempt to communicate with you on the case or any subject connected with the trial. You may not take notes during the course of the trial. There are several reasons for this. It's difficult to take notes and at the same time pay attention to what a witness is saying. Further, in a group the size of yours, certain persons will take better notes than others will, and there's a risk that jurors who do not take good notes will depend on jurors who do. The jury system depends upon all jurors paying close attention and arriving at a decision. The court believes that the jury system works better when jurors do not take notes. You will notice that we do have an official court reporter making a record of the trial. However, we will not have typewritten transcripts of this record available for your use in reaching a decision in this case. During the trial, the court may be called upon to make rulings on objections or motions made by the attorneys. You should not infer from any ruling the court makes that the court has an opinion on the merits of the case favoring one side or the other. If the court sustains an objection to a question and not allows it to be answered, you should disregard any response by the witness prior to the court's ruling, and you should not speculate on what the complete answer might have been or draw any inference from the question itself. It may be necessary for me to confer with the attorneys outside of your presence. It is impossible to predict when those circumstances might arise, but I will resolve the issues before me as quickly as possible. After this instruction, the attorneys will have an opportunity to make opening statements in which they will be able to explain the facts and issues as they see them. After all of the evidence has been presented, they will have the opportunity to address you again and make their closing or final arguments. These statements and arguments are not evidence or instructions on the law. Nevertheless, they are intended to help you understand the evidence and the applicable law, and you should give them close attention. Opening by the state.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes,
ma'am. This is a case about Carly Madison Gregg. Carly Gregg has been charged with murdering her mother, Ashley Smiley, and attempting to murder her stepfather, Heath Smiley. She's also been charged with tampering with physical evidence for removing a camera and hiding it that captured a portion of the events. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear testimony throughout the next few days during this case. You'll hear about some secret life that Carly lived. You'll hear that Carly had a secret boyfriend. You'll hear that Carly had a secret iPod, that she had secret social media accounts that she was using to communicate with people on this iPod when her parents had taken her phone away. You'll hear that she was secretly cutting on her thigh using a knife. You'll hear that she secretly had burner phones her mom and stepdad didn't know about that she was using. You'll hear that she had secret weed vape pens and that she before going to school at times. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not why we're here though. We're here because of what she did on March the 19th, 2024. So that you'll hear that Carly is the daughter of Ashley Smiley, the stepdaughter of Heath Smiley, that Heath and Ashley were married sometime in 2020. You'll hear that Carly's not been in her life for about a year or more, that he was a known drug user, had
So it looks like over here on Court TV, they are putting up the questions that are being asked. So on the stand is a juvenile witness, one 16-year-old boy currently in the 11th grade. and they're putting on the questions. Is your mom also a teacher at the school? And the juror and the minor says yes. Sorry, I guess I'm gonna just have to let it play. Can I speed this up? Oh, I can. And then they asked, Miss Smiley was very patient with Carly. They loved each other very much. I never saw any negative interaction with them, the 16-year-old says. Currently, there is a 16-year-old on the stand, and the judge has shut off the cameras, and Court TV is putting up some questions that are being asked of this witness. Did Carly have any trouble at school prior to March 2024? They ask. I never really saw her get in trouble. She's a genius kid and doesn't do much wrong at all. I think I saw her get in trouble once and it was shocking. So she's not a troubled kid in school. She did get straight A's and she skipped the 4th grade. So she's very smart on top of it all. It was said that she was the star of the school, and then the mom got a job at the school and she didn't like it. What was it for? Asked, and then she said he's saying she cheated on her math test. Did her mom find out about that? And he says, yes, ma'am. I can't wait to the day that I can go to these live trials and be in there and reporting back like that, like this. Her mom was disappointed, of course. Carly was also upset, like any child would be. Child? He's 16 years old. The witness is a friend of Carly. Wonder if it's one of the people she invited over to see the body. Around January 24th, did Carly ever tell you anything about her mom taking away her cell phone? That's another thing. She took away her phone. And the person replies, I don't remember. So this kid is saying that there was never really any issues with Carly and the mom. Carly did have an incident where she cheated on a math test and she got in trouble for it. I mean, it sounds all pretty basic. Her phone was taken away. The state says, did you see Carly Gregg on the morning of March 19th, 2024? The 16-year-old says, yes, ma'am. I was really confused. She was sitting alone in the cafeteria and she spilled her drink. I joked around with her and she got mad. So if you're just joining us, there is a juvenile witness on the stand and there's no recording permitted. Court TV is throwing out some of the questions that are being asked. State says, how did you know Carly was using drugs? Oops. Sorry, the bird is turning on the bathroom light, so I got to go get him. And hold on, I'm going to go back. How did you know Carly was using drugs? And the person, 16-year-old says, the juvenile says, she had told me prior. Could you tell that she was in the clouds? And the person says, you could just tell. She's got this little evil grin about her, doesn't she? Junebug Cash. Stop it. Did you ever see her drinking Germax? No, ma'am. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what Germax is. You guys know what Germax is? I thought the cameraman had gotten in trouble for filming Carly. I was like, what the heck? Went on a rant. Looks like the audio and stuff might be coming back unless they're putting music. Annoying music. I think they're putting annoying music up. On March 19th, 2024, you said you were worried about Carly and went to tell her mom about the drugs and a burner phone. What is a burner phone? And the juvenile says a phone her parents wouldn't know about. I'm going to turn that sound off. Would you and Carly communicate on the burner phone? And yes, ma'am, says the juvenile. Oh, hand sanitizer. Gotcha. What kind of plan did you come up with to tell Miss Smiley what was going on? And the juvenile, oh, it's a female. Oh, wait, no, juvenile female would walk Carly around the school or something while I told Carly's mother. So they were trying to keep Carly occupied while he went and told the mother. "14 years old. Man, I feel bad for people that the kids at 14 start doing this. On what he said to Carly's mom, I let her know about the fruits and veggies. I let her know about the phone. Was Carly there when you did that? No, ma'am. Anybody else in the room? No, ma'am. The witness on the stand is a juvenile, you guys. And if you're just tuning in, they're not allowed to film it. Court TV is throwing us some of the questions being asked. The state is asking, did Carly and her mom leave shortly after? Witness is not allowed to be recorded. Judge has ordered the cameras off for any recording. After you told Miss Smiley about Carly, did you send her an email? The juvenile says, yes, ma'am, indicates he doesn't remember exact contents of email. And then the state approaches with document. Okay. Jury sees email from the juvenile to Carly's mom, Ashley Smiley. So he sent an email. On why he sent the email. I didn't want Carly to know that I had told her mom. I wanted to make it look like she just found out. So he was afraid of the repercussion of Carly finding out, which, I mean, he had good right to be afraid, obviously. Like, he probably had no idea how afraid he should be. At some point after heading home from school with your mom, was Carly Gregg reaching out to you via text message? And he says, yes, ma'am. Reviews records at witness stand. I saw dragonflies. I saw tons of bumblebees. And I saw the most beautiful yellow butterfly float by me this morning. I love when they come to visit. At some point after heading home from school with your mom, was Carly. Oh, sorry. Smash that. Oh, yes. Smash that like button, you guys. And share the content. It helps me tremendously. And if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. The first message from Carly was sent at 4:21 p.m. State reads text messages from Carly. I need help, please. And KWN is the attorney for the state. I'm just calling them the state. There's a juvenile on the stand right now, and the judge has ordered the cameras off. But Court TV is feeding us some of the questions and telling us what's going on in the courtroom as it's happening, which is really good of them to do that. Still not working. I couldn't get it to go through to give you guys the memberships. I'll check in just a second. About 10 minutes later, responded to Carly with, I'm riding my bike, send address. Don't. Let me see if it will let me do it. No, when I tried to do the membership gifting, it just like thinks and thinks and thinks. So maybe it's a YouTube thing going on. How long did it take you on your bike to get to Carly's house? And he says, I don't remember. It's a long bike ride. And then did she ever tell you why she needed help? No. WN, it looks, oh, okay. What do you see when the state says, what do you see when you get to Carly's neighborhood? And he says, the first patrol car. I went and hid before later being questioned by law enforcement. Okay, so now we know why she did what she did, because this juvenile told her mother that she cheated on a math test and was she already knew about the math test, that she was doing fruits and vegetables. And yeah, the mother found out about the vape pens and all of that. The state says, I wanted to be a good friend. Oh, I'm sorry. The juvenile says, I wanted to be a good friend and there for her. But at that point, you didn't know what Carly had done to her mother. And he says, I did not. Yeah, it's not working for me either. So I think there's something going on with YouTube because I can't get any memberships to go through. Did you ever actually see Carly after school on March 19th? And he says, no, ma'am. Do you and her still talk? And he said, yes, ma'am. Has she said anything about unaliving her mother? And he says, no, ma'am. The state says, has she expressed any remorse for what she did and what she did to you? And he says, what did he say? Sorry, I want to see what he said. Sorry, it doesn't let you pop back like 5 seconds. So I wanted to see what he said about the remorse. Oh, come on. Did you ever actually see Carly after school? Do you and her still talk? Yes, ma'am. Has she said anything about the shooting? No, ma'am, he says. Has she expressed any remorse for what she did to you? And he says, I don't think she did anything to me. Tricky way of wording it, State. Did she express any remorse for what she did to Heath and Ashley Smiley? And he says, not that I can remember. Fruits and vegetables are the devil's lettuce and whatever analogy they have now for what she was doing. Carly Gregg IDs Carly Gregg in the courtroom. And now we're into the cross. So now Carly's lawyer is going to ask questions. I know there's other people that have problems with their credit cards on YouTube. So I think it's a thing. Carly's attorney says, did you ever see Carly smoke marijuana? And he said, maybe once. What was going on with Carly that concerned you? And he says, I can't remember any specific examples, but I just saw her going down a rabbit hole. So the friend was trying to help. Do you know how frequently Carly smoked? And he says, I don't remember. Do you still consider Carly your friend? And he says, yes, ma'am. So Cross is speaking now, Carly's attorney. Do you know where Carly got the fruits and vegetables she smoked? And he says, I don't know exactly where or from who. And then he says, when Carly yelled at you for making a joke, was that typical? Or she said, when Carly yelled at you for making a joke, was that typical? And he says, no, ma'am. She says, you said it was rare Carly would get in trouble, correct? And he says, yes, ma'am. She probably thought her world was ending. Do you ever get in trouble at school? And he says, yeah. Would you say last school year you got in trouble more than Carly or a lot less? And he laughs and he says, a lot more than Carly. But she has friends that get into trouble, so that says something. The quiet ones you got to be careful of. I was one of the quiet ones, and I was getting away with a lot of stuff. I remember I was in my 30s and I was doing some substitute teaching at a high school. And I was just kind of sitting there, and a teacher came over and he just screamed at me. He was like, you need to get into class. And I was like, I'm on my break. And he's like, there is no student here that is on a break. And I was like, I'm a substitute teacher. But can you imagine being yelled at like that in school? Oh, anyway, it just reminded me of this. What was Carly's mom's reaction when he told her of these concerns? And he says she didn't seem angry. She just seemed disappointed. And who did she seem disappointed in? And he said, particularly to Carly and partially to himself. And Cross says, why were you concerned about how Carly would react in getting into trouble? And he says, whenever she'd get in trouble in the past, she'd engage in self-harm. Oh, interesting. Fair to say you were more worried about how Carly would hurt herself? And he says, yes, ma'am, that was my first priority. First thing that crossed my mind. Have you ever known Carly to be violent? And he said, no, ma'am. So her friend was worried about her hurting herself. So the friend narked on her, told the mom that she was doing fruits and vegetables, which is, you know, it's what kids shouldn't be doing. Anybody shouldn't, like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into the whole okay. Anyway, and told the mother, and Carly freaked out and tried to unalive her family for it. She says, you said Carly was upset on the FaceTime call. What did you observe? And he says, fighting tears. Yes, if you or someone you know is struggling, you just text 988 and you can talk to somebody. You can text or call 988 if you want to harm yourself in any way. Cross says, had anyone called your parents to let them know you were being questioned by law enforcement? And he says, well, one of them was taking me home, and then we had to turn around because someone wanted to ask more questions. And when I called my mom, he wanted to ask more questions, and when I called my mom, he let them know. It's all unfolding. The story is all coming together with this witness. Did anyone ask if you wanted to wait for your parents to get there before being questioned? And he says, I don't remember. Ooh, interesting. They're trying to show that the police their conduct wasn't proper. Hi, baby bird. Cross says, based on everything you know now, would it be fair to say the concern you had about Carly had more to do with mental health issues? There was an objection, speculation sustained. Cross says, based on what you know now, are your concerns about Carly still grounded in I just don't want to keep saying the word because YouTube will flag me. Fruits and vegetable issues. What fruits and vegetable issues? And he says, the weed pens we found out about, based on what you know now, would you say that the devil's lettuce pen, oops, I didn't see what they said. Based on what you know now, would you say the devil's lettuce pen wasn't the biggest problem in Carly's life? There was an objection, sustained, and then now they're up at the sidebar. You can tell this person's typing fast. in court. Very kind of them to do this. What are you guys thinking? It's very interesting.
As to lunch tomorrow, because I have to order tonight. Okay. If you're vegan or you have some special issue, you can pack lunch. These are the options that I have. Okay. So just before y'all leave tonight, please make that decision. If you want to bring something, we'll provide you a refrigerator. We'll provide.
I wouldn't want.
We can. I'm going to ask y'all to be back in the jury room at 8:45 tomorrow, ready to go at 8:45. Everyone remain seated while the jury exits. Mr. Bailiff, take charge of the jury.
8:45. So 9:45. So happy I'm hanging out with you guys during the day. I miss hanging out with you guys during the day. I stopped doing it because people really didn't like, well, some people didn't like hearing from me, but I just definitely am going to start including some daytime. Okay. See if he says anything else.
All right, I'm going to ask with the jury to be back at 8:45 tomorrow. I'm going to ask the attorneys for both sides to be here at 8:30, ready to go. All right, along with your witnesses. We're moving along at a pretty fair clip, so if the defense has any witnesses, they may want to have them ready after lunch tomorrow. All right. Anything further from the state?
No, sir.
Anything further from the defense?
No.
All right.
Sir, I apologize. I do have one other thing, just to make sure that the witnesses, the people that have been in the courtroom know that they're not allowed to discuss the testimony with potential other witnesses.
There should be no discussion about testimony with witnesses from either side. All right. Anything further from the state?
No, sir.
From the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. We'll stand in recess till 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
So she is wearing white. They've got her in this little white sweater, or is it a blazer? Is it a dress that they have her in? Oh, I wish we could have saw her better. They've got her dressed very angelic looking, I would say. Let me see if we get a better view of her over on this one. Dewey K. Arthur. That's got to be a family name. Dewey K. Arthur. I have a family name. I'm not really an Amy. I'm an Amy. It's my nickname, but I'm named after two grandmothers. I've always felt super protective.
To be back at 8:45 tomorrow. We'll ask the attorneys for both sides to be here at 8:30, ready to go. All right.
I want to see if they show her after.
A pretty fair clip, so if the defense has any witnesses, they may want to have them ready after lunch tomorrow.
Pretty crappy that they're giving them jail food and they can't just Mississippi. I think Mississippi is one of the poorest states. So what am I saying? Times are tough right now. I wouldn't want to eat jail food though. Just but I think they're really clean in the kitchens. I don't know. I'm always just trying to be hopeful. Okay, we're not going to see her. What do you guys think? I think this is a very interesting case, and I'm happy we're covering it. I think it's fascinating, and we're getting more details about why she did this. So apparently, she was doing illegal drugs, and she but I call them fruits and vegetables. And yeah, so there was, her friend was worried about it. They set up this plan so that he told her mother, and they were afraid that she was actually going to self-harm herself. They weren't worried about her harming, like, yeah, like a Mary Kay. Oh, yeah, Mary Kay Letourneau, but I like a Mary Kay representative too, right? Jeez. Uh, so yeah, wow. Sounds like she had a break. It does sound like, I mean, it wasn't planned. I mean, are they gonna be able to? Oh, this is gonna be a very interesting case, you guys. I'm so happy we're doing this. Okay, you guys, I actually am going to wrap things up, but I will see you tomorrow, 9-ish, 9:45-ish, tomorrow. And yeah, we're gonna do this case. Thank you guys for being here and hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate it. I do have a new video that I released today on this case and me talking about her case and how I feel like it relates to Gypsy Rose. I feel like matricide is on the uptake, and it's terrifying to me. It terrifies me. And it terrifies me that Gypsy Rose has 10 million people over she's influencing. And like TikTok is a haven for kids. Sorry, that was another long crime, threw it over to another case. So yeah, it's terrifying to me. I'm gonna go. Love you too, main chick Carrie and Laura Lynn, and who else did I see stop by? Giselle, and I know there were more of you. Molly. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. Or Mally, not Mally. I said Molly. I'm sorry. Mally. And Licia. And yeah, and Laura Lynn, thank you so much for the super sticker. It's really, really appreciated. I emailed you back. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If nobody's told you this today, I'm going to tell you this. And you know what? Even if they have, I don't care. I'm still going to tell you this. I love you guys so, so much. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy.
Carefully strumming this old guitar, words rolling out into the fire. Never ask why my heart burned blue. Here in the haze where you inspire me. Here in the darkness I hear my cue. Time to find some solitude. Here where my soul bleeds openly, deep in the heart of sin and you. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you. Bye.